And 3 minutes in. Not much going on tonight. Got some of the friends playing Dune Awakening. I was thinking about playing that too, but not really in the mood at the moment. Not sure if I'm having a moment of depression. Probably just a moment of deep thoughts, but definitely loneliness. What sucks about being a person who is lonely is that they can tell others how they feel, but those who don't feel it, I don't even think they can guess or imagine what it's like. I mean, maybe they've been there before, so they might have some idea. I don't know. Feels like no matter how many times I tell people, they can't understand. So it's one of those feelings you can't shake. And what's worse is when you're surrounded by others, or at least in my case, the more people I surround myself with, the lonelier I feel. I got this little one here. She always wants to be around me. And that'd be great. Like it would be wonderful to not feel alone when she's around me, but she's not a person. She doesn't provide to me the way that I need from like someone else. Hey Yoki, how's it going? Cat stepping on my keyboard. I don't know what she just fucking did. Yeah, I'm just thought I'd talk my feelings, you know? Thought I'd turn on the camera and just be a fucking bummer on the internet. Didn't feel like doing any gaming. I'd like to do some writing, but I'm experiencing some severe writer's block right now. I did the same thing that I do most Tuesday nights. Yeah, a lot of people showed up. A lot of people, two people. I see two people here. So I did the same thing that I do usually every Tuesday night. That's I go to the bar. I go to a local bar that's not too far away from where I live, and I get my favorite food in the world. I get chicken wings, Daytona Wild, right? They're hit with a rub, deep fried, throw it onto a flat top and seared, mixed in with the sauce and everything. Fucking fantastic, especially when you get like grated Parmesan on there. But of course, yeah, you see the same old people. Nothing ever changes. You go there, you have your food, watch the Cubs. But it's like I'm not going to any place where I can meet people. And the only person that I know there at the bar is like a woman that I've been in love with for the last 4 years, who I can't tell. She's already in a relationship, and I'm like friends with her boyfriend, so I can't like do anything about that. Bro, I don't know how to help, but I really think you're awesome, dude. You're one of my only friends. Oki, you got like 700 something friends, man. Yeah, I'm joking. Uh, I know I'm a friend. Yeah, you're my friend too, man. I like talking to you about my among my inner circle and say like, "Oh yeah, what are you up to? What game are you playing this time? What funny thing did he say?" and uh and of course, always trying to promote you whenever possible when I'm like streaming and I'm trying to address an audience. Whenever I'm playing a game with all the other guys and it requires like a lot of concentration. Uh Average YouTuber says to Oki, I have none. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my inner circle. I've got my 5 best friends and then just a bunch of people that I know. But yeah, even with those 5 best friends, I mean they all fit certain niches, right? Like everybody has their friends that fit certain categories of the person that they would like in their life. And I've got that. I'm fortunate that like 4 of my inner 5 live near me and 2 of them I've known for the last 25 years or even longer in one of them in the case of one of them. But as much as a return to normalcy as it feels like, I'm going to stay on this stream for a while. You seem pretty cool and chill. Hey, thanks, average YouTuber. It's like hanging out with my friends that I've known ever since high school. Feels normal and it feels good, right? Like it's a return to form. It's something that I'm comfortable with. And it's the people that I relate to. Like they're my best friends for the longest period of time because we have the most in common. We could always talk and do stuff together. You know, for the most part. One of them is a slave to his parents, even though he's fucking 42 years old. His parents are old. They're falling apart. One of them is anyway, like literally falling apart. Um, and so he takes care of his folks. He's decided that he's not gonna live on his own. He's gonna stay home and watch after his parents and run their errands, take care of the house, do everything. So very noble of him, but leaves him very little time. This is a dude who also works in lawn service, so he's working like long periods of like a very long time during the day. I used to work lawn service too, and like 13-hour days were very normal for us. But he also has to drive an hour to work and then do that job and then drive an hour back and help take care of his folks. And the only other time that he has to himself besides sleeping, if he doesn't fall asleep right away after work, is like play Destiny and then that's it. So it's good having my best friends um, and be able to talk to them and hang out with them when they're available. Of course, me and my best friend Dom, we live together. He's got the upstairs, I've got the downstairs. He's in the next room playing Dune Awakening with our buddy Wes, who's streaming over on Twitch. And yeah, I was thinking about playing with them, but yeah, I just wasn't feeling it, right? Like, I feel off. Hey, Bev. Sorry, I know you don't like being called Bev, but you know me. Mr. Too Bad, you're Bev. Beverly. And if you're listening, yeah, you're one of the inner 5. It's Dom, Nehemiah, Art, you, and Adam. You're my inner 5 best friends. Speaking of which, Art's probably going to come on down here 4th of July weekend. I don't know if you're going to be around. Obviously, Dom's going to be over at um, Table Rock Lake, which I wish I could go to. Play Baldur's Gate. Yeah. I mean, I should already be playing Baldur's Gate. Beverly's playing Baldur's Gate right now. And yeah. You know how I can get, Beverly. Like I get like a case of the lonelies, right? And then I become very antisocial. I don't want to talk to people. I figured this time I would talk to people. I just like go online, talk to strangers, or at least people that I know if they show up. Yeah, I figured I'd talk to Dom about this way too much. It's beating a dead horse. It's old hat, you know. Yep, just got in a fight with a Get Yankee and BG3. Yeah, Get Yankees suck, but man, I do love me Lazelle. Man, it's always good to talk to people. I'm an idiot, but I can talk. Yes, you can, Oki. Yes, you can. Can you play that piano in the background? Nah, sorry, it's too far away. It's not even set up right now. And I've got my other digital piano right here, and that's just buried under a bunch of shit. There's a VR helmet. There's a box for a 20th anniversary um, Halo Duke controller, like a USB Xbox controller modeled after the very original Xbox controller, like the big, like fucking dinner plate. Uh, I got a Nintendo Switch box. There's a fucking cavitation device over there with an automatic card shuffler and um, just like a tray to hold up your monitor. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of garbage there. Hey, fat boy, what's going on? All right, I get it. My depression has been bad. I've been disassociating a lot lately. Now, Beverly, we could always talk about that. We're best friends, or at least I consider us best friends. Yeah, Fat Boy saying, "What's up, TL? Everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Smash that like. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, man. Yeah, this is just gonna be like a talking day, like a talking night. What is it? Almost 9 o'clock my time. We're gonna chill out. I feel like all of us have depression. I just don't do anything to fix it because I don't know what to do. I'm dumb. Lol. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, man. Um, I mean, I know what my answer is. Go out and meet somebody. It's that simple. You just fucking do it. Problem is, I don't go to the right places and I don't meet the people that I want to meet. What sucks about being in this town is, despite the fact that it's like a college town with a lot of college women, they're not going to be interested in a guy like me. Because, for one, I have nothing to offer. And two, I can't compete physically with all of the other guys in town. That's cool. You have that super pleasant Dr. Fraser Crane voice. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I know. I've got that face for radio, right? No, just want to talk to somebody who wants me around. I mean, of course, my best friends want me around, but they can't fill that thing I'm looking for, you know? Yeah. I always felt it was better. Well, I do feel that it's better if I do like talk about stuff. It's better than keeping it inside. Like yeah, I wish I was there right now so I could finish that video of us. Oh fuck you, dude! I'm not gonna finish that video. No way. Let Faf do that. You know he's into it. Oh man. So I went to the Western tonight. For those who don't know, the Western Tap is a local bar here in town. And I go there to eat my favorite food and look at the same old people. And of course, like, Brie is there, one of the most beautiful women God has ever created. And it just makes me sad that 41 years in, still alone, you know? Cedric says, I feel it's an issue that a lot of people have, even those who are in a relationship. Why else do some people cheat? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people do it. I don't know why my dad did it. My mom's a fucking saint. So when I was a little kid, single digit age, like 5, 6, my dad worked for a company called PCI, which was a division of Westinghouse, a very large power company, right? He wasn't like high up on the ladder or anything, but he made some pretty good money back in the 80s. Enough that we had like a decent low income house in Round Lake Beach, just down the street from a beach, where me and my brothers would hang out all the time when we were little kids, and all the other kids on the block too. A lot of the kids that I went to school with lived on the same street as me, and had a lot of good friends. A lot of them also named Mike. But or yeah, the other thing about my dad was that with this job, he was very often being flown out to different areas of the country. I forget exactly what the hell he did at that job, but there were times where he would take like these 2 week long business trips, right? And my brothers and I didn't know it at the time. I think my mom had an idea. But it turns out that on those business trips, my dad was flying out to Belgium and cheating on my mom. My dad just being himself. And yeah, find out when like I'm 7 years old that that's what's happening. My parents split when I'm 8. It's like, I don't know why my dad did that. The effects of it didn't even hit me until I was like 14, 15. So that's when I started to act out, have no guidance. So, like a little bit of a story about myself. So I grew up with 2 brothers that are 5 and 6 years older than me, and we were always close together. They were always looking out for me. And then by the time I turned like what, 8, 9 years old, like right after, like a year after my parents' divorce, they just fucking abandoned my ass. They're in high school now, and that means they have all new friends to hang out with, things to go do, you know, typical shit. Things that you would expect yourself to do once you hit that age. Go do things that you think are cool. Also, I want to say that I admire that you're so honest about how you're feeling. Yeah, I have to be more open because I bottle everything up, and when I do, it makes me very angry. And because I have learned to control my anger and not vent it out, okay, I mostly control my anger. There are times where I slam my fist down and shit, where I might yell at the top of my lungs, and then Dom has to hear it, and then the cat runs away, and then I'm told to calm the fuck down. But there are many times where I just want to express how upset and angry that I am. And I can't, and I don't. And I keep it inside, and it builds up and builds up and builds up to the point where I need to explode. But then I put a cork in it. And because I can't explode with all of my frustrations and anger and punch the shit out of something and break something, like I need to destroy something. If I can't do that, then I just get sad. And then I cry. And then I break down. And then I don't want to talk to anybody. And then I just piss people off even more because of the way that I act. Then I become very defeatist. Um, I become very lazy, unproductive. I don't want to go to work. Yeah. And then I just hide. I just hide from everybody. And that's if I'm not having an anxiety attack, which used to get really bad back in the day, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, back when I worked at State Farm. Um, that's when that shit really used to sneak up on me, and I would be running away from my desk, and I'd find a room that was empty, and I'd fucking cry my eyes out. But yeah, when I was a little kid, my brothers who were supposed to look after me, they they just went off to go do their own thing. So I was by myself. My mom was always gone because she was trying to start up another relationship with somebody, whoever it was, like man of the week. It was more like man of the month. Um, but she was like rarely ever home at night. Um, like weeknights, she was out dating. Weekends, she would be out with her friends from work, going to like a country club or something, trying to meet somebody. So here I was at home by myself, probably like 9 years old, 8, 9 years old. No one will look after me. Doors that don't have locks to the house, right? Anybody can get in. Never had to worry about it though. We actually never had a burglary. Um, but I had no one to like do anything with. I had no one to look after me, no one to provide me guidance. So instead, I watched movies and played video games. I had my Super Nintendo and I had HBO and a VCR and Round Lake Video and Family Video. Well, Family Video came later. Mostly Round Lake Video. And those took care of me. Those raised me. That's why I have a bunch of useless fucking knowledge. Especially about movies and video games and behind the scenes stuff. My cousins and I, we would start to hang out more. They lived on the other side of town, out in the trailer park, and yeah, like once I got into middle school and throughout high school, I was hanging out with them almost all the time. I had my cousin Mike, who's the same age as me, just a month older. His younger brother Scott. Scott, Scott, myself, and my other best buddy Nehemiah. We were we were the ones to fear in high school when it came to playing card games because we were so fucking good at it. And I don't mean like traditional card games with a deck of 52. I mean like trading card games and shit. Games based off of anime and whatever. We were fucking good at that stuff. Scott and Nehemiah, they were very competitive. I'll tell you that story in a little bit. Cedric says, it's nice you have a passion for movies and games. I cannot imagine living without passions. My last name literally translates to passion. But, yeah, my last name is Italian for passion. But, what was I saying? I was talking about, yeah, card games and stuff. I'll talk about that later. And I had my friends. I would make friends in school, middle school and high school. I always gravitated towards those who played the same games that I was into, like the same stuff. Um, it was in middle school that I met another friend, same name as me, who was into Final Fantasy and Mario RPG. Like Mario RPG had just come out, and so we would talk about that all the time. And then we'd hang out in high school. I was always going over to his house, hanging out with him, and having some other friends come on over too. We'd play card games, video games all the time. Sometimes watch movies, watch a lot of anime. That was mid to late 90s. I have difficulty meeting people or engaging with people that I have nothing in common with. And I think that's something a lot of people have trouble with too. My mom's actually somebody who can connect with anybody, doesn't matter who or what they do. She just talks to them. My mom's really good at talking. And I try to imitate that quality of hers. Like, I can talk to strangers and I'll find something funny going on, something humorous, and I'll use that. But the thing is, they're strangers. I have no intention of ever talking to them again. I don't think I'm ever going to meet them again. So really, I have like no fear of engaging with them. People that I do have stuff in common with, when it comes to like games, movies, I find it super easy to get involved with them, talk to them, and engage. And those are people that I plan on keeping around, right? So I'll introduce them to concepts and ideas and um, other things to kind of keep them engaged in me. Like when they see or do this thing, I want them to think, oh yeah, this guy likes that. So that way when I talk to them again, they'll be like, oh hey, I did this thing. I'll be like, yeah, that's fucking cool. But then there are the ones that I have nothing in common with that I want to stay engaged with. And that's probably like the person that I'm looking for in my life. Because it seems like everybody, anytime that I want to meet someone, maybe, or Cedric says, maybe if you broaden your interests and knowledge, it would be easier to find mutual interests and experiences. Yeah, broaden how? I'm very narrow-minded. Or not just narrow-minded. Sorry, I've got a one-track mind. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to come up here? Come on. Want to come up here? All right. You stay right there. Stay right there. Cedric's got good ideas. And then said he says, for example, I have a broad range of interests, but I'm often not very knowledgeable about that interests. Yeah, but I like to know stuff. I mean, I feel like if I don't know enough about something, I'll just be that guy who's like, oh, hey, did you know that thing? I don't know anything else about it. And the shit that I'll probably talk about is going to be things that people already know. See, especially when it comes to foreigners, it's easier for me to connect because I'm interested in other languages, cultures, history. Hmm. Um, yeah. You know what's funny is like I started doing this whole YouTube thing because I was hoping to meet somebody through it. Didn't really work out well. And so far, not going that great either. But then again, I'm not on here very often. I shouldn't expect much. I shouldn't expect anything. It's not even one of those things where it's like, oh, if it happens, it happens. It's not going to happen. It's kind of funny, like in the college years, right? Like if you didn't stick with somebody that you liked with back in high school, then you usually find somebody in your college years. And in those situations, either It's you find somebody because you're always interacting with them, or you know somebody who knows someone else. I've never had that. I was always hanging out with people that were similar to myself. And if I ever ask somebody, usually like another girl, be like, hey, do you know someone? They'll be like, I don't know other women. Like, I waited too long. I waited too long asking myself, when is it my time? When is it my turn? You know? I tell you, I should have gone to college when I had the opportunity. So when I was in high school, I said that that's when I started acting out. When before that, when I was in middle school, I did fucking awesome. I was a really good student. I was very smart back then. That once I made the move from middle school to high school, my first semester of freshman year, I had English 2 honors, Algebra 2 honors, Modern Biology 2 honors. I had trigonometry. I had calculus. Um, I had another fucking honors class. I forget what it was. And then, of course, I had drawing. No honors classes for drawing, just advanced classes. But I needed to go through the basics in order to get up there. And that's when I started to act out and started getting into trouble at school. And when I wasn't at school, I was just at home fucking playing PlayStation all the time. Um, and throughout my high school years, when I was actually in class, I was always doing art classes. I would skip school all the fucking time. I would wake up late and I'd watch a movie and then I'd go in for my art class, go to lunch, go to history, and then I'd go home. That's what I did. I, I did that so much. I was constantly getting suspended. I was getting sent to court for truancy. Saw a judge a couple times. I've been expelled and held back and all sorts of shit. But I passed every single art class. And into my fourth year of high school, I was able to take whatever art class I wanted. And it was because of my art excellence that I caught the attention of several places, such as like, oh, the Art Institute of Schaumburg or the American Academy of Art. And they were sending me brochures and things saying like, oh yeah, come apply for a scholarship with us, fully paid and everything, or fully paid, tuition, right? But it was near the end that uh, we started moving. I moved to Des Plaines, and then I moved back up north, and I never finished my high schooling. Instead, I got my good enough diploma. But yeah, instead of pursuing a higher education or an education related to my interests, which at the time was drawing, no, instead I went into business, thinking, I can make money at an early age. And so I got a job doing fast food, and turns out I'm really fucking good at it. Or I was at the time. Got my restaurant when I was 20, 21, technically. Um, but when I was 20, my job as an assistant was to train the people above me. It's kind of funny, right? Um, but uh, yeah, that didn't go so well. My store was getting robbed. That's when I started to feel terrible about myself. The robberies weren't my fault, but they kind of were because it all had to do with people that I had hired. What's funny is that, like, my store was down the street from a fucking halfway house, and there was a penitentiary just a few miles away, federal penitentiary. And, like, the one employee that didn't try to fuck me was the ex con that I had hired. Everybody else was self important, self righteous, felt like they acted like they fucking figured it out, right? Like, oh, they figured it out. They know what life is. They know how to succeed and get ahead. They know how to be bossy when they're the fucking lowest rung on the ladder. I didn't like that shit. I would terminate the fuck out of those people. I had no problem firing people. One time I fired somebody and it felt great because right afterwards the sun came out. It was like a gloomy day. And then I fired someone. And then I looked outside. Oh, hey, clouds broke. But yeah, I didn't pursue any of my interests when I went into business at a young age. Like right out of high school, I went into business. So I didn't go to college, didn't go to a university or an academy. I went to a fucking restaurant. Yeah, you weren't born yet. Yeah, you weren't even a thought. I don't even think your mom was born yet. Yeah, it's possible. You want to come here? I'm gonna try to grab you, and you're gonna walk away. Yep. See? Well, come here then. I'm not going over there. No, you gotta come here. You come here. What about on here? You want to come on the bed? Want to come onto the bed? You go get me Mousy. Where's your mouse? Where's your mouse? Go get Mousy. If you bring me Mousy, I'll come to you. Yeah? Where's Mousy? Go get Mousy. She's thinking about it. I gave a lecture in a university or college. It's true. In 2006, I was invited to the College of Lake County's video game class. Because at that time I had experience working on video games. I hadn't actually like professionally worked on a game yet. It was just me and one of my buddies from Colorado. Like we had worked on several game demos together. But because of that experience and the fact that my buddy Andy was was in the class, they were like, "Oh, hey, well, invite your friend on over to talk about this stuff." So yeah, I was invited to a college course to talk about game development. They were um, they were learning how to use Game Maker and learning C4 or the learning how to use the C4 engine at the time. Um, I had experience with 3D Studio Max, Maya, and a German game engine called A7 Game Studio. Like I started out on A6, but A7 clearly better. I also had experience with a bunch of independent game engines for like first person shooters and shit like that. None of them were really that good. But yeah, I didn't actually go to college. And when I did, or I should say, I went to college for 4 years, never took a single class. I went there to play Dungeons and Dragons. Every week for like 2 or 3 days, I'd go to the college, hang out with my friends under the stairs, and fucking play D&D. Berta. Berta, I'm not going out there. No. You want the towel? I want to throw a towel on you. You want to be a towel cat? You want to be engulfed by soft fabric? I'm going to throw an orange towel at you. You'll be an orange cat. Orange cat. All right. just come on over here. Come on. Come say hi. You already said hi? Come on. Come on. Come on. Good girl. You want butt rubs? Yeah? Come up here. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Cat's back. Want to say hi? Look at that. Look at that up here. Oh, you're looking at yourself, huh? So, funny thing about this cat is never once in her life has she ever reacted aggressively towards herself. Whenever she's looked in a mirror, whenever she's seen herself on a camera, no, it's like she knows it's her. Um, Back when I used to have a bathroom with a mirror and a couple sinks, and I'd hold her. It was like a big mirror, too. She would always look at me in the mirror, and she would look at herself, and she would look back at me. So, I think she's aware that it's her in the mirror, because I'm also in the mirror. It's back when we had two sinks, one for me, one for her. All right, I got you. I put her in this little body lock. Like, she'll crawl onto the arm of my chair, facing like this way, and then I'll put her in a body lock, kind of like a headlock, right? But I've got her around the torso, and her butt's right in front of me, waggling her tail, and I'll just like pat her butt. And then get her fur all over the place. You can probably see it's all over my shirt. It's a mess. But yeah, like if I wasn't working, I was playing D&D with my buddies at the college, and I wasn't like meeting new people. I was meeting like new players every once in a while. It was fun having game friends, but I wasn't networking. I wasn't interacting with people that I should have. Not if I was like trying to find somebody for myself. And that's what it was. Like, I fucking wasted all of those years. Everything's been a big waste. At least that's what it feels like. Not a waste on my best friends. If they hear this, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, any time that I could have devoted towards creating my own happiness I didn't take. Did all of your friends have a lot of success finding someone, or did they have trouble as well? That's a good question, said. Um, I'm alone, Dom's alone, Neo's alone. Um, Art he's got an on again, off again boyfriend. Beverly, I won't talk about your relationship. Um, and then our buddy Adam, um, I mean he has a good job. His he lives with his girlfriend. Uh, yeah, they look after each other. No, I like me and my two closest friends. Like no success. We've had girlfriends before, but it's like we're not good enough. So they always end up leaving. This is the only one that stays. This one here. She doesn't count though. You can't be my girlfriend. You're my little girl. Yeah. If you bring home a boy, I'm gonna kill him. That's what dads do. Yeah. You know what sucks is like I can't even attempt to succeed now. It feels like I've gotten to the point where I can't get into the game, you know, and things are just getting harder. So before I did this tonight, I went onto a dating site, Plenty of Fish, because I have a profile. I've had a profile in there for 11 fucking years or longer even. It's always the same people too. It's the same fucking people. And I don't want to talk to any of them because they don't want to talk to me either. But like I went on there tonight and I saw someone who apparently lives in like the next town over, being like 40 minutes away. And she looks very attractive. Um and then I'm like reading the bio. Bio's incomplete. Improper punctuation. Okay. I've run into women that do that type of shit. And then I'm looking at the pictures. Three pictures that are very similar. Details are there was one detail that I noticed that was strange. And that was the left eyebrow. The left eyebrow just above the bridge, that didn't match. And then I spotted it. This chick's AI. That's what I have to fucking deal with now. That's what everybody else that is on there has to deal with. Which is funny. When I talk to the girls at work, I work with nothing but women. When I talk to them about dating and stuff, they will say, well, why don't you try online dating? See, dating is really hard. I'm even amazed at how I still met people through going out, because most of the times I don't. I also hate how I often require some alcohol to muster the courage to talk to others. Yeah. I don't think I need alcohol, but it does help. I remember one time I did drink like a lot. Um, and I got very sociable. Uh, I got very chatty with there was a girl that I liked, and she just got a new boyfriend, and she brought him over for like a New Year's Day party. And I didn't like the guy, but then after several drinks, I was like, dude, we should hang out and fucking play Battletoads and shit. He was like, yeah, man. Never saw the guy again. Eventually, the girl that I liked and him, they got married. And then a couple years later, she calls me up out of the blue. And I told her, like, how I felt at that time. She's like, why are you telling me now? I said, well, I told you before, too. But you told me to my face that I was not attractive. And that really fucking shot my ego to shit. And that's all I think about now. Like, I'm going to find somebody that I like, and I'll put the hint out there without trying to be so aggressive and forceful. Like, hey, I'm available. I like you. But I'm going to be thinking about that when I was told I'm not attractive. It was very heartbreaking to hear from the person that you like. I've told you all before about like other encounters that I've had. And back when I lived in Colorado, yeah, not attractive, bullshit. You're not balding and you have a full beard. Not really a full beard. It's like kind of patchy. I got this. What's the opposite of a Hitler, right? Because it doesn't grow right there. Like Hitler's grew there, mine didn't grow there at all. You're a good-looking guy, says okay. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to grow my hair back. I cut it way too short. Looked fucking awful. And enough people have told you they like your voice. Yes, they like my voice. Is that enough, though? Might be enough on the phone. But if I'm only good enough for the phone, then yeah. You know, what sucks is I didn't pursue some of the people that I should have. And you're charming. But it's probably really hard to meet new people and make meaningful connections that lead to more. Yeah, it is. Because no one wants to talk to anybody new. Not nowadays. Everyone's so fucking invested in their phones and shit. Like, you know how fucking hard it is? How goddamn difficult it is to have a friend or meet somebody and be like, hey, let's watch a movie together. And they'll sit through and watch the whole thing without doing something else. Now, I know that not everybody is capable of giving something their entire attention. But I grew up without cell phones. I grew up without, I don't know, small distractions. When I had a movie, I watched it. When I had a video game, I played it. Watch TikToks? Dude, I don't watch TikTok. But I do watch all the TikToks that get ripped and put on YouTube. And even then, that's just doom scrolling. I do that way too much, and I should really stop. No, I would. Yeah. I've told you guys before, there are like two types of women that I'm into, and neither of them are into me. And it's like, woman number one is, um, she is into subculture. She might be into TV shows, anime, movies, video games, right? And we like a lot of the same stuff. And we could very easily talk about these things. Great conversations. But she's probably half my age and has no interest in a guy like me. I can already think of somebody that I know right now. She would never be into a guy like me. Not only that, her mom would probably say no too, because I know her mom. Yeah, it's a patience you have to foster. Same with classic music. Lots of people don't have the patience to sit through an hour-long piece. You know, classical music, not just classic music. Talking about movies. Yeah, it's like, yeah. Dude, I love me some classical. Used to listen to classical all the time back in high school because of art class. We always had classical music playing. Let's see. Yeah, woman number two would have been somebody who's had a lot of the same experiences as myself. Um, but the problem is that, or a woman who is around my age that's had a lot of the same experiences and shares a lot of the same hobbies as myself. Problem is, they're already taken. Somebody wiser than me snatched that shit up back in high school and stayed with it. I thought I found that last year when I was dating somebody. This girl lived almost 100 miles away. I had no problems spending nearly 2 hours, right, driving to go see her. Like an hour, 45 minutes. I didn't mind one bit. Even when I almost ran into a deer. uh, I had no problems wanting to go see her. Because she made me feel great. I loved being around her. And she fit every category with the exception of like physical attractiveness, but I never told her that she wasn't attractive because I was attracted to her. I was attracted to her because we were about the same age and we had all the same experiences. She was still married. She was in the middle of a divorce and it wasn't going well. And that took a toll on her. And there was no room for me. This is what it comes down to. There's just no room for me. People have their lives. But when it comes to relationships, they'd rather have something else. I was told by somebody that if I want to meet somebody, I should try running a game, like a D&D game. It's something similar. You know, find some new blood. Like, okay. That might attract a woman number one. Possibly. But she's either going to not want to be involved with anybody, or she's going to be like, well, can my boyfriend play too? I know how it's going to play out. So I've already done it. If you hear any clicking noise, it's because I'm playing with a knife. And don't worry, I'm not going to do anything with it. It's my fidget toy. Am I happy when I'm alone? Fuck no. I feel awful. Or rather, when you're single. No. No, because it's not how I want to live. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be single. I want someone that I can come home to. I want someone that I can share a bed with. And someone that I can have dinner with and, watch shows with. Someone who isn't like another dude. I'm rubbing my face a lot because there's cat fur all over here. When she sheds, it's like a fucking mushroom just sending out a plume of spores everywhere. It's all over the place. Yeah. It's on my lips too now. That one cat wears at least 5 other coats of fur on her. 5 other cats. I pulled one off the other day. And another one the day before. Nah, dude, I'm not happy when I'm single. When I'm in a relationship, man, I fucking feel great. Like, I feel like I can move mountains. I have confidence. I have no fear of doing what I need to do. Daily tasks, go to work, do all the hard shit. Take care of myself. What I believe, this is a personal opinion, is that you cannot invite someone into your life when you're not content single. Well, then your belief is going to be the end of me. That's the nail in my coffin. Because I will never be content single. I just don't know how to meet people. I don't know how to meet women. I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know how to talk to anybody that I have an interest in, an attraction to. I mean, there's some gorgeous women at work, but I have no interest in dating anybody that I work with, right? Like, I trained myself to be like that. Because I know how fucking troublesome it could be. The idea of what grief can come of it highly outweighs my desire to pursue something potentially good. That's just fucking drama. I don't want the drama. Too old for drama. I was kind of hoping that, like, maybe some of them would know somebody. I don't think they do, though. Yeah, what sucks about this college town, like, we have 2 universities, a community college, and a bunch of bars that young people like to hang out at. Took you around 3 years? Or yeah, you said, for example, when my first girlfriend broke up with me, I had a lot of trouble accepting that. And I realized I could never properly meet someone new if I still had to process that. Took me around 3 years. Cedric, you're also like in your 20s. You're also like early 20s, right? You're pretty young. Or like mid 20s. I forget how old you are. You'll probably tell me in just a few seconds. Um, yeah, I don't have that time or energy anymore. Instead, I spent a lot of, yeah, 23. Dude, when I was 23, no, I'll tell you, when I was 20, hold on a second. Hey, Berta. Yeah? Yeah? You want to go under there? Hmm. You really want me to come back out in the living room, don't you? Berta, you should come here. Come lay down on this. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. There you go. Look, it's a little cradle. A little kitty caldera in the laundry basket on top of clean clothes. You can lay it right there. There you go. You gonna walk around here? Okay. Yeah, like when I was 20 years old, the most action that I was seeing were girls who would drive by and give me their number, only for me to call later on and find out that it was the reject hotline. Happened twice. And very close to each other too. That's a blow to the ego. When a girl starts talking to you and you talk to her and you think, hey, you know what? This is going somewhere good. And then she says, well, hey, why don't you call me? Here's my number. You give her your number. And then you start getting pranked. And you find out her number leads to the reject hotline. Yep. Sad girls? No, just mean. I bet they're happy with families or some shit. Probably got married to some fucking douchebag. I don't know, just when someone has difficulty doing something, they'll look at another person and say, they make it look so easy. And now the person who did it, who managed to succeed, is like, well, it wasn't difficult, but, you know, just go out there and do it. The thing is, I don't have anyone around here that I know that I could talk to. Even the girl, even the bartender that I like, right? Who I was talking about earlier, her, like, I've asked her, like, hey, you might know somebody. Could you help me out? And she said, yeah, let's hang out sometime. I'll try to help you meet someone. Like, she's awesome at that, she says. That was over a year ago. We're not exactly friends, though. I'm just a fucking customer. I'm the dude who eats hot wings. Nothing substantial, nothing remarkable. Just another fucking big guy who comes in and orders the same shit. Like, I can't believe I let myself down so hard. And every opportunity that I gave myself to treat myself like shit, I've taken that. I've, like, I haven't done anything good for myself. I've never been on a vacation before. Not once in my life. Not because I never wanted to go, but because me being me, it's been very difficult to save money. Hell, I wouldn't be living in a house unless I had a friend who was able to help me afford it. And even then, it's not my name on the title or on the deed to the house. So I'm just living with a friend. Last time I lived out on my own with anything to my own name was 20 years ago in Colorado. So since then, I've been completely fucking reliant on the kindness of others. So, yeah, that's attractive. And what's funny is that there are people who are in, like, shittier situations than me. I'll use this one guy who lived with me, who lived with Dom and I, or Dom and myself, me and Dom. And he lived in our garage back when I had it furnished. It was well furnished too. He had a couch, he had a bed, he had a dining space. He wasn't good at keeping a job. He made the place look like shit. Smelled awful. Had two cats that he couldn't take care of. They were kittens. They were shitting all over the place. And then he had he was constantly collecting food from the food pantry, from the food bank, right? So getting tons of free food that was on the verge of expiring, and he just let that shit sit on the floor. And then all the mice came in and started ruining the garage, shitting on everything. Yet this guy, in his fucking condition, was able to meet a girl who was willing to come over and hang out with him in his fucking shithole and tolerate him willingly until he decided he didn't want to see her anymore because there was another girl he wanted to see, which he then moved out of our place to go live with her. He was physically fit. That's it. It amazes me as well that such messes can find partners, but I think it says more about those partners than those messes. I don't know. That's the kind of town that I live in, I guess. I live in a town with people who have bad judgment. Like, the only women that I am capable of talking to and possibly going out with are usually single mothers with several tattoos in the worst fucking possible spots, and they're chain smokers. They probably all live within 3 miles of the interstate. Yeah. For example, some men are abusive and they find partners all the time, but that's usually because those partners are used to abuse and it's normal or familiar to them. Well, my sense of humor is abusive. It's not good enough, though. I'm not physically abusive. No, instead, I'm way more romantic. That's just a turnoff, I guess. Too fucking chivalrous. Hold open the door and shit. Nope. What's kind of funny is back in high school, I had a crush on a girl. Both me and my best friend Nehemiah, we had a crush on the same girl. I was the shorter, chubbier white kid, and he was the taller, skinnier black kid. And we were the best of frenemies because we'd always play fighting games against each other and card games, and we would have contests to see who can draw better. And we also liked the same girl who wanted nothing to do with either of us, but she would always hang out with us. And I was so dead set on trying to win her affection, I didn't realize that there was another girl who actually did like me back in high school. And I think there was a time where she tried to tell me, and I completely blew her off to go talk to the other girl that I liked. It's like, yeah, well, I wasn't really into that other girl. Like, I was friends with her brother, and he was really stinky, and so was his house. And I swear one time when he slept over at my place, he like urinated through his skin and it got soaked into my couch. Oh, I was so upset. I was so pissed off. Or pissed on. I don't know. But yeah, I should have at least like heard her out. See what she wanted to tell me. And then process that and make a decision. But I didn't even listen to her. I just like walked by. And I was like, probably the thing that set me on the course for failure. I have a friend of mine who was popular with girls in high school, but he never realized that. When we graduated, he wanted to get with those girls, but they were no longer interested, and he regrets it. Yeah, dude. At least he had girls interested in him. I don't have anyone interested in me. I'm not an interesting person. Everybody already knows my whole fucking story. I mean, if someone takes me, it really is just like, well, what comes next? And he was like 15, though. Yeah. What was I doing when I was 15? Oh, cutting class and fixing my broken PlayStations by renting other ones from Family Video and just swapping the parts. I used to pull shit like that. So back in the day, our video stores would have consoles that you can actually rent. And living in the basement of my parents' house, of my mom's house back when I was a teenager, we had a concrete floor. And every once in a while, somebody might trip on one of the controllers and yank that console off the desk, and it would hit the concrete floor and it would break. Something inside, some component would break. So I'd get $20 and I'd go to Family Video and I'd rent a console with insurance and I'd take it home. I'd open it up and then I'd just like start swapping the guts. I'd find out what worked and what didn't. And then I'd just cannibalize one PlayStation, fix mine, and just give them back the broken one and say, I don't know what happened. It just stopped working. I did that more than once. Am I the reason why Family Video went out of business? Probably not. I think streaming killed it. Streaming killed the video stores. Thanks a lot, Netflix. Console surgeon, yeah, that's what I did. I remember I was at a convention years and years ago. Went to a game convention, bought a copy of Mega Man 2 on the NES. Brought it back to my apartment. It was back in the late 2000s. And it's like we had an NES that we could play it on, but that NES was broken. And I realized that it was a combination of the cart needed cleaning and the NES needed new pins because they had bent over time from all of the inserting the cartridge and pressing it up and down. So I got in there with a screwdriver and I started pulling back the pins and getting them back into place. And yeah, we were able to play Mega Man 2. We fucking beat it. Now we were playing Urban Champion all the time, and that game sucks. I remember renting physical movies with my dad. It feels like ages ago. Because it was. Or I don't know, was it? It was for me. My dad died in 2013. And really, we didn't even hang out much. Because again, he lived in Belgium. Cedric. Sounds like my buddies are having a good time playing Dune Awakening. It's too late for me to go jump into one of those games. But yeah, I just feel like I wanted to come on here, lament my woes. Same old bullshit. Poor me, can't find a girlfriend. You know? Are you responsible? Nah. But yeah, I started the stream tonight talking about loneliness. Every day I feel lonely. And I can tell people that I feel lonely. And they can be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I get you. I appreciate that you're trying to empathize. But do you understand? Like, have you felt like the type of loneliness that somebody else can feel? Is it possible? I used to hurt myself because of how lonely I felt. There are undoubtedly people out there who know how it feels, but maybe not the people that listen to you. Yeah, they probably wouldn't want to listen to me. And it's not like something I can explain either. It's not a feeling that you can explain. It's a fucking feeling. You have to feel it. And it's not something that you can act out to express to somebody, right? Like, you can tell when somebody's depressed, or when they're acting depressed, or feeling depressed. They'll be like really mopey and everything. But like, loneliness feels different. Like, you feel it. You feel it in here. It's not something that reads on your skin or on your face. Like, it really feels like a fucking emptiness. Is the hardest thing for me to talk about because I can't feel like the people that I know can relate. It reminds me of people who step out of life but seem happy the days before. Yeah, dude. Robin Williams, as he said before, and this is very true, that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. So be kind, always. And I try to be kind. I'm kind to everybody, except one person. That's myself. Because I know who I am. And I've established a value for myself a long time ago. Wrongfully based on the opinions of others when I shouldn't have. So difficult to not compare yourself to other people. It reminds me a lot of a quote from one of my favorite books. Oh, yeah, what's that? Yeah, okay. Send it in Discord. Well, an hour and a half later. See what this says. I'm going to read it out loud. Is that okay? All right. So this is what Cedric sent me. For we are so constituted by nature that we are ever prone to compare ourselves with others, and our happiness or misery depends very much on the objects and persons around us. On this account, nothing is more dangerous than solitude. There our imagination, always disposed to rise, taking a new flight on the wings of fancy, pictures to us a chain of beings of whom we seem the most inferior. All things appear greater than they really are, and all seem superior to us. This operation of the mind is quite natural. We so continually feel our own imperfections, and fancy we perceive in others the qualities we do not possess, attributing to them also all that we enjoy ourselves, that by this process we form the idea of a perfect happy man, a man, however, who only exists in our own imagination. Yep. So we create ideas of who we are based on the perceived success of others. In short, oh, because I see that that guy is in a relationship with that girl, then I'm a piece of shit because I can't achieve that type of happiness. I can't have what he has. And so that's who I must be. I must be this piece of shit. This fucking Andromeda strain, you know? Oh my god, dude, you're blowing up my Discord. The Sorrows of Young, or Young Werther, by Goat, or Goethe, Geth, Geeth? I don't know how to pronounce it. Gate? It's a German novel of a young guy falling in love with a woman who is already married. Yeah, I don't need to read that story. Um, what I find funny is somebody at work, one of the girls at work, um, said that she was in La La Land when she was distracted by something. And I was like, oh, okay, here. He commits suicide at the end of the novel, and it sparked a wave of copycat suicides. Well, I guess a lot of people felt the same way he did. Oh well, weeding out the weak. You don't want people like us all over the place, right? Just polluting the gene pool with negativity. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my my coworker was lost in thought about something, and when I talked to her, she said, "Oh, I'm just in La La Land." I was like, "Hey, have you ever seen that movie?" She's like, "No, what's that movie about?" And I said, "It's that movie with fucking shit. I just forgot his name. But like he's a piano player on stage who sees a woman in the audience and falls in love with her at first sight and has to go talk to her. And so eventually, he's able to talk to her. They start a relationship and they live happily ever after. But then as you get closer to the end of the movie, all of a sudden he snaps out of reality or snaps out of his fantasy. The whole movie was in his fucking head. And he gets done playing his song. And then he talks to the girl and she wants nothing to do with him. That feels like me because like every woman that I see that I feel like I have an attraction to. And I said I feel like I have an attraction to. So I don't know if I actually do. I would need to know them. Like I'd need to talk to them, interact with them, find out who they are. Like I have those moments where I picture our whole lives together. And then I'll talk to them and be like, "Oh, well, they already have a boyfriend or they're already married." Yep. I don't know. I kind of ran out of negative shit to talk about. What do you guys want to talk about? And there's only two of you here. Did you look into that Tarkovsky movie, The Mirror? No, man. I'm sorry, I didn't. I meant to, and I completely failed to. I really should watch it though. I should watch that and Stalker. Or any movies of his in general. No, again, I haven't. I've really got to get around to it. Sometimes it's difficult for me to get into a new movie or something that I haven't watched before. I often find myself gravitating towards movies that I've already seen. Like, I've got no problem watching a movie that I've already seen a couple dozen times. I've downloaded a lot of movies recently. Yeah. I used to download movies. Don't do it anymore. Recently, 3 Iranian movies. I'm not sure how familiar you are to foreign movies. Not all too familiar. It's not it's not actually a subject that I'm too well versed in. It seems like in terms of foreign films, the ones that are most well known are the ones that are the quirkiest. Like I don't think anybody gives a shit about French films. But then you got stuff like The City of Lost Children. If it wasn't as fucking weird as it is, I don't think anybody would have given a shit. I'm guessing that's how Bollywood movies get famous. They're just so fucking weird and off the wall sometimes. Recently found a black and white French movie about a priest losing his faith. I doubt a lot of people are interested in that stuff. Yeah, I guess. But um two of my three favorite films of all time are foreign films. Hey Lenora, how's it going? Hi. Welcome to my stream where I talk about bad things about myself. Going all right. Good to hear. How's Nilnyar? See, I want to talk negatively about myself, and people are already telling me what to do. What are those two movies, Cedric? All right. So, my top 5 favorite movies in this order are the original black and white 1954 Gojira. So, Godzilla, of course. Godzilla's my hero. When I grow up, I want to be just like him. So that's foreign film number 1. My second favorite movie of all time is 1979's Alien. Not a foreign film because it was produced by Fox. Even though, you know, Fox does have its connections to England and such. But it was like American production, American writing, right? It was the creation of Brandywine Studios. But my third favorite film of all time, and I've said this plenty of times before, and if you don't remember what it is, shame on you, because it's one of the best fucking movies ever made. The 2.5-hour black and white silent film masterpiece from 1927 Germany, Metropolis, whose special effects would still go used for the next 50 years. Dude, Metropolis is one of the best movies ever made. You watch that movie and you look at the sets they built, the miniatures they built, the editing of film and how they made shots look like there were people running around in the background of these massive sets that they built, or miniature sets that they built. They did some cool shit. And this was all before King Kong, right? Like, King Kong was the movie that everybody saw where they saw amazing special effects. But Metropolis beat it by what? By 6 years. And I think it's an even better movie than King Kong. Yeah, all right, I've written down your top 3. I'll take a look when I have the time. Dude, how have you not seen Alien yet? She has seen Alien. I have no clue how many fucking times. You've seen Alien, right? Yeah, how many times have you seen it? You don't know how to count? You're not a horse? Oh. You look more like a cow. I'm not calling you fat. You're black and white like a cow. Where are you going? Yeah? It's much colder in this room than out there. You're such a good girl. Pretty kitty. Yeah, she is. Come here. They want to see you. Yeah. Oh. Can you believe this little wet fart? She's going to be 17 in 2 months. Come here. Yep. Ah, getting fur in my mouth. You're going to be 17. We had your sweet 16 last year, and your quinceañera the year before that. Remember? I got you toys. Seti says, I've seen Alien, but long ago, and I cannot remember much. That's okay. The nice thing about Alien is that there are two versions of the movie that you can easily watch. There's the theatrical cuts and the director's cut, and both are amazing. Now, I prefer the director's cut because of additional footage, but the director's cut also takes out some other footage too, and I don't like it when director's cuts do that. I like it when they keep all of the footage of the theatrical cut, but add more. You thought the game Alien Isolation was really good? That game's fucking fantastic. Oh my god. Best Alien game ever made. Now, the one that I played the most would probably be AVP 2. That came out in the early 2000s and had some of the best multiplayer deathmatch maps. That was a lot of fun. See yourself on the screen? That's you. It's you. See your papa? You see me on the screen too? Mwah. 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 She doesn't like it when I kiss her on the face. She doesn't like it when I sniff her either. Yeah, see? Alright, I'll stop doing it. AVP 2 was also a movie. No, not the AVP 2 that I know. The AVP 2 that you're referring to is AVPR, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So, Requiem. What a fucking dumb movie. Now, I still like watching it, but it could have been so much better if the Strauss brothers were able to make the movie that they wanted to make. It would have, yeah, 2.8 stars on Google. Yeah. Well, let's see. Lenora says, have you seen Nilnyar's stream? He has to deal with one of our cats that annoys him while he plays. Oh, yeah. This little girl can get quite annoying because she's very needy. And she can get a little noisy and distracting. And then sad sometimes. She'll like go on the stairs and she'll meow for me. But it's the best kind of distraction. I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, Alien vs. Predator Requiem was a movie that was written and directed by the brothers Strauss, the guys who also made the movie Skyline. And, or at least I believe I'm correct, right? Holy shit. I've had a brain fart. Memory cavity. Hold on a second. AVPR. That was the Strauss brothers, right? Yeah. Yep, it was. So I was super excited when I first heard about that movie. Yeah, they made Skyline. And I really like Skyline as well, but that was another movie that could have been better. And unfortunately did not have good sequels. But AVPR, the movie that we got was the movie that the executives wanted, thinking that that's what people wanted to see. But it's not. So, AVPR, when that was first being pitched around, Strauss Brothers had written a 90-page script, so about an hour and a half, because when it comes to screenplays and scripts, you treat each page as 1 minute, right? So they wrote a 90-page script. They had no dialogue in it, not a single word, because the whole movie was supposed to be about Wolf, the predator in the film, the Yautja, and it was supposed to be about him hunting the xenomorphs. But nope, the executives didn't like that. They're like, no, you got to write a story that involves humans, people that we could relate to, and shit like that. Except everyone hated everybody in the movie. There was like no likable characters except for the mom that came back home from the military. She was like the only intelligent one. But yeah, that movie had a lot of unlikable characters, and no, it did something with the pred alien that had never been done before, and that was say like, oh yeah, it can impregnate you by depositing shit through its throat. Mouth to mouth birth or mouth to mouth impregnation. Um, I mean that was cool for shock value and stuff, but we already had the pred alien. Like we had several incarnations of it through the comic books as well as the video games. I mean, if they wanted a cool Pred alien, they just needed to look to the game. Still, I think the design of the Pred alien was all right in the movie. Yeah, but man, I really would have much preferred to see the original story that they had written. So, yeah, AVPR was a letdown. But hey, at least we have new people on board for both Alien and Predator. I mean, Fede Alvarez, who did Alien Romulus. I thought Romulus was really cool. Um, its one-liners that it was referencing other films with, I thought was kind of cheesy. I wish Andy didn't say certain lines because it just felt forced. I mean, they were definitely there for giggles. I didn't really care for that. Wasn't very appreciated. But otherwise, I thought the movie was great because it reminded me so much of two things. One was Alien Isolation, which Fede Alvarez had played and was a huge fan of. And there were even Alien Isolation Easter eggs in the movie. Hold one moment. All right, we're talking Dune Awakening right there. All right, but yeah, the other thing that I loved about Alien Romulus was how much it's like the RPG. It feels like the RPG. The characters felt very similar to each other, like they had all done the same job, and they did. I mean, for the story, they all mined the rings around the planet that they were on. Yeah, thank you. I'll show it to you again. So this is the official RPG by Free League, based on the Alien property. Now, although it looks very similar to the first two movies, Alien and Aliens, it does take place after Alien 3, and it includes a lot of information from both comic books and toy lines, as though all of it had happened. Granted, like the Kenner toy line storyline never happened, but a lot of the toys that they developed for it, just for the purpose of selling toys to kids, are in the books, as though they were actual vehicles and things like that. I thought that was fucking amazing. And all the little bits of information that they gathered from the comic books that would otherwise not be canon, they found a way to add all of that into here to fit into the canon. I thought it was amazing. It looks like a coffee table book. Well, this is actually a game book. This is a rules book on how to play the game. I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Good old Ash. Yeah, I love how this book goes over the history of everything, of like the history of the world up until like Alien 3 or shortly thereafter. Goes over different ways to play the game. Has all the different character backgrounds and classes that you can play as. This is an incredible book. Free League made an amazing game with one of my favorite properties of all time. My second favorite franchise, Alien. First one being Godzilla. You already know that. But I have probably more Alien shit than anything else. I mean, hell. Got this guy right here. A little plush facehugger. Ah. Watch out, Berta. Gonna get you. See its tail? See its tail? Want its tail? Ooh, are you excited for the tail? You want the tail? I'm sure you have other cool books in your collection. I mean, I do. I mean, I also have Blade Runner, which is really glossy. I also have Dragonbane. This is very similar to like second edition Dungeons and Dragons, where you roll your d20 and it has to be below your stat for you to be successful. But the premise of this game is called Mirth and Mayhem. It's like we know that people who play RPGs like D&D love to fuck around, and that's what this is. It's very fast paced, and I love how in the Free League games that when they have a monster is a fucking monster. It is difficult to deal with and plays by its own rules. Ooh, Blade Runner. That's my girlfriend's favorite movie, but I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, dude, I've got the movie poster for it out in my living room. Like right above my PC and going on the right, I have Alien, Predator, Blade Runner, and The Thing. And then on the wall to my left in the living room is Jurassic Park, Scarface, and Beetlejuice. And then here in the bedroom, I've got a couple posters. I've got Star Fox and Final Fantasy VI, and an IMAX poster for Godzilla King of the Monsters. But I've also got a few other Godzilla posters here too. The bedroom has the Godzilla movie posters. The living room has all the other movie posters. Let's see. Oh, and then... Oh, shit. Okay, I just dropped stuff. I think they were thumbtacks. I'll find them eventually. Hi, me. How's it going? Just leaving my like. Have a great evening, y'all. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by. My most recent purchase was the Final Fantasy RPG. The Final Fantasy 14 RPG. Looks amazing. I don't know how much I will enjoy playing this if I ever get around to it. I'm pretty certain that I'll enjoy it, but it seems very bare bones. Very bare bones, and that it wants to be a video game on paper. And we already had that with 4th edition D&D. Nobody liked it. Another set that I have is the One Ring, also by Free League. So Lord of the Rings tabletop RPG. Let's see. Next chat with TL. I will be here. Hey, man. Thanks for stopping by. You missed all the negative shit that I said about myself. Man, I would love to play D&D, but I don't know anybody in real life with whom I could play it with. And I don't want to go out and meet people for it. Well, dude, I know that, I mean, obviously you would have to meet somebody, but you could always find a group like on Roll20. People post, like LFGs on there all the time. Let's see. I mean, I got a bunch of shit. I've got everything from old D&D. I got first ed, second ed. Third ed is my favorite. Here's the reprint of 3.5 book. These were my favorite covers. The old players' handbooks and stuff. I love these guys. They're the best ones. Yeah, I've got the core set for 4th edition, which I had won from an online contest, an old game site called rpgamer.net. It's no longer around, but back in like 2008, when 4th edition had like just come out, I submitted an idea for a contest, or for one of their contests, and I won. Yeah. Is it ready? Okay. I got food waiting for me, so I'm going to take off here in just a second. But then I also have like 2 core sets for 5th edition as well, which I'm sorry to say. I've got like Starfinder and other things too. But yeah, I love my tabletop RPGs. Jaime says, okay. Going to bed now. Cedric, play D&D online or Roll20 or some website. Still pretty good. TL, you're an awesome guy. I will always enjoy all your games knowledge and game development skills. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, man. If you're up for Oki stream in the morning, I'll be there for a little bit, probably just lurking about. I start work at 10 a.m., so I'll be able to watch them for a couple hours. I would prefer to play it in real life the authentic way, but it's not really a priority, so it's not a problem. All right, guys, I'm going to take off here, so I will see you all tomorrow morning probably. Catch you in the next stream.